Alright, so I want to apologize in advance. My throat is completely screwed up for some reason. I have no idea why. So I probably sound like garbage. Did on my COVID vaccine a few days ago. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Um, but this video was I got the idea from someone in my Discord, which you definitely should join. There's a link in the description of this video and of all of my videos, and also follow me on Twitter. Basically, so we're going to start out, all right, paint in MS Paint. You ready? We ready? All right. I had to switch into tablet mode here. All right. So, let me pose a hypothetical to you. This lovely gentleman here, this guy right here, is a police officer. Right? He's a police officer. Oh, okay, that erase button doesn't work. On my pen, those out of here. I would Control Z, but I'm in tablet mode on my computer right now, so that's not an option. Yeah, this is a police officer. We're gonna give him a little badge. Oh, come on. Not the pencil, the brush. There we go. Alright, he's gonna get a little badge. He's gonna get a gun, because all cops use their guns way too much. This is a cop, alright? Here he is. Cop. Alright, and then over here, this person is a protester. I know my handwriting is garbage, you'll have to forgive me. This person is a protester. We're gonna give them, picket sign? Yeah, let's go with a sign. Alright, so, let's pose a hypothetical here. So we have a cop, and we have our protester. Oh wait, I can just hit this button to undo. That's amazing. Okay. Alright, so, protester goes to a protest. Let's say it's a Black Lives Matter protest because he's holding a sign that says ACAB, right? It's a very pressing topic. Let's say the protester goes to a Black Lives Matter protest. This protest is entirely peaceful. There is little to no property damage whatsoever. There is a confrontation with the police, but nothing turns violent. Nothing is there's no shots fired in any direction. There's no projectiles thrown. There's no brutality inflicted upon anybody by anybody else, right? So, in this particular circumstance, has the protester here, who is protesting, they're protesting, which is within their First Amendment rights, have they committed a crime? And the answer to that is no, they have not, because under the First Amendment, we have something called the right to assembly and the right to protest, and the right to free speech. It's really not. It can't really get more cut and dry than that. Let's complicate the hypothetical a little more. Okay, let's say no violence. Still, no violence has been committed. However, protester is he's confronted with a cop, and it's a protest for Black Lives Matter. It's a protest against police brutality. He's got his sign that says ACAB. He maybe gets in the cop's face, right? Doesn't touch the cop, gets in the cop's face, and maybe starts yelling at him, or starts, insulting him, or what have you. Has a bit of a heated gamer moment with this cop, but nothing harmful is inflicted upon the cop. Okay? Now, has the protester committed a crime? Still, I would argue, no. The protester has exercised their free speech. The protester has exercised their freedom to protest. They have not committed a crime because they have not assaulted the officer. They have not resisted any sort of arrest. They have not done anything legally wrong. Let me introduce you now. I'm going to switch back to laptop mode here. Alright, let me introduce you now to Kentucky Senate Bill 211. Kentucky Senate Bill 211 on March 11th of 2021 advanced from a committee in the Kentucky State Senate. I'm a Kentuckian, by the way, so this is particularly prescient. Is that the word? Relevant might be a better word. Relevant to me. All right, let's read what exactly happens, or what exactly Senate Bill 211 is all about. Amend KRS 500.080, I don't know what that is, to define public assistance benefits, emergency service personnel, firework, and riot. Create a new section of KRS Chapter 508 to require restitution for a violation of assault in the first, second, third, and fourth degree. Create a new section of KRS Chapter 511 to create the crime of unlawful camping on property owned by the Commonwealth. So this basically says, just so that we can shove in one more bad measure, this basically says, hey, don't be camping on state-owned property. Don't do that. Create a new section of KRS Chapter 512 to require restitution for a violation of criminal mischief in the first, second, and third degree. Let's look up a definition of criminal mischief. Committed when a perpetrator, having no right to do so or any reasonable ground to believe that he or she has such a right, intentionally or recklessly damages property of another person, intentionally participates in the destruction of property of another person, or participates... Come on. Where is it? Or participates in the reckless damage or destruction of property of another person. Okay, so this is property damage. All right, let's keep going. Amend KRS 508.010, all of these, to provide enhanced penalties for violations of these offenses during the course of a riot. Which, bear in mind, this is the bill that defines a riot. And need I point out that this bill was introduced by Republicans. So Republicans here get to define what a riot is and define the penalties for a riot. Amend KRS, etc., to provide enhanced penalties. Create a new section to restrict when a person shall be released after an arrest for a violation of an offense of during the course of a riot. Amend KRS 439.340 to add violations committed during the course of a riot to the definition of violent offender. Create a new section of KRS Chapter 15. Okay. Well, this doesn't really capture the essence of this law, but let me explain in the basic gist of what's wrong with tablet mode here. I really you guys have been able to hear me for all of that. Let's see, what are we at here? I'll go back and check that later. We're at 8:13. Okay. Gonna go back to like 8 minutes and see if you guys can still hear me. But anyway, back to our little paint here. All right, so the same situation I presented before, right? Protester gets in cop's face, yells, ACAB, right? Under Senate Bill 211 in Kentucky, doing what is happening here, becomes illegal. This becomes... let me elaborate. So, let's say this gentleman here shouts ACAB. Cop here, because he has been subjected to the awfulness that is cop training in America, takes great offense to this slight, right? And he decides it's time to pull out the billy club. He decides it's time to pull out the nightstick, right? Protester here gets beaten up by the cop, right? Police brutality happens. Our protester gets beaten up by the very angry cop. In this scenario, and under Senate Bill 211, the protester is legally liable for this situation. Let me reiterate. Under Senate Bill 211, if someone insults a cop, just says something to a cop that they don't like, to the point where the cop decides to pull out his nightstick or pull out his gun or what have you, and commit a physical act of violence on the protester, the protester is held legally responsible for this. And this is the issue that many people have taken with. Let me switch back.
Laptop mode.
This is the issue people have taken with Senate Bill 211, because this is something that Senate Bill 211 does. I also have pulled up over here a Wikipedia article on the Kentucky General Assembly. This is the, it's the state Senate and the state House of Representatives. Let's go take a look at the partisan composition here. All right. In the Kentucky State Senate, we have 9 Democratic senators, so it looks like we have 1 independent, and we have 29 Republican senators. Easily a supermajority in favor of the Republicans. In the House of Representatives, we have 75 Republicans to 25 Democrats. Also, easily a supermajority in the House of Representatives. Now, I want to point out that Kentucky has a Democratic governor. The governor of Kentucky currently is a man named Andy Beshear. He is a Democrat. He defeated a ridiculously unpopular Republican in 2019, which is very impressive in Kentucky. Actually, it's weird. There's Bevin, who was unseated in 19, was the only Republican governor. I want to say the only Republican governor in the 2000s, in the 21st century, because Steve Beshear had 2 terms. He was a Democrat, who was the father of Andy Beshear. But anyway, that's a tangent for another day. The point of this is there is a Democratic governor. Now, what someone might be thinking is, okay, well, presumably the Kentucky Constitution has rules as far as gubernatorial veto, just like the United States Constitution has rules concerning a presidential veto, right? Like, this could make it through both houses, and then the governor, Andy Beshear, could potentially veto it, and it would need to go back to the Senate and the House. I think, is it just the Senate? I think it might just be the Senate in the federal government to get a supermajority vote to override the gubernatorial veto. You would technically be correct. There is a rule, a provision in the Kentucky Constitution for a veto of the of any bill that passes the Kentucky General Assembly. But there's a but, and it's a very strange and very big but. The governor's veto in the state of Kentucky can be overturned by the Senate by a simple majority vote. What does that mean? That means that there are 38 senators in the Kentucky Senate. That means it would take, what is that, 19? 20. It would take 20 with, because they would need a majority since they have a Democratic governor. It would take 20 Republican votes to overturn a gubernatorial veto, which then begs the question of why is there a veto in the first place? If anything passes the Senate with a simple majority, governor vetoes it, then what's stopping the Senate from just passing it again? It's very silly, but this is bad. This is really, really bad. It's gonna go to the courts. I can't imagine it not going to the courts. I don't know what's gonna happen when it gets to the Supreme Court, because there are 6 conservative justices. Let me explain why this is bad, okay? So let's walk through this kind of. Okay. Are we still plugged in? Yep, I think we're still good. Okay. Let's walk through this step by step. So, First thing that happens, let's get the nightclub out of here. Let's get the ACAB out of here. Let's go through this situation just kind of one piece at a time. Protester shows up to Black Lives Matter rally with sign that says ACAB. Not committed any crime at all. At all. Not committed any crime. This cop here, let's say this cop really doesn't fucking like this guy. This cop really hates this guy because he's a cop, and this guy's basically saying he's a bastard. You know, not many people probably take too kindly to being called bastards. So, immediately under Senate Bill 211, this guy, the cop, is looking for any excuse to pull out that nightstick, right? Like, the protester gets up in his face. I can't draw for shit. Guy gets in his face. ACAB. And this cop is like, okay, I have decided arbitrarily that is enough to warrant an act of police brutality. So now the nightstick comes out. Nightstick comes out. Protester gets murked. Because the cop didn't like something that the protester said. That's the only reason that this person not only gets police brutality'd, but also I hate this paint app. Why am I? No, go away. All right, there we go. Not only is that the reason this guy gets police brutality'd, but it's the reason that this guy gets held legally responsible for getting police brutality'd. The cop faces no ramifications whatsoever legally for this act. And the protester gets beaten up with a nightstick and presumably arrested for saying one word, for saying ACAB. Like, I feel like I don't really need to go any further into why this is terrible. So, yeah, this sucks. This is really bad. And this is in my state. This is going to set a terrible precedent. If it makes it through the courts, it's going to set a really, really bad precedent. And there's really not much more than that. This just sucks. So yeah, I just thought I'd raise awareness of it and talk about it because it's a really shitty thing. But anyway, what time we got here? Let me see. What do we got? 17. That's good enough. So yeah, if you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe if you'd like. That last video about the super straight thing blew the fuck up. Nazis stay mad. Yeah, and that was awesome. I really loved that. I actually got some people in my Discord. I got some followers on Twitter. It was good. You should do those, by the way. Join me on Discord. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. Ring the bell if you want to be notified. If you want to know, or if you want to help choose next video topic, either comment or join the Discord and tell me that way. And yeah, have a good one.